and welcome back to Half Magic Tarot. Today's pick a card reading is all about how your soulmate will talk about you. So when I say soulmate, I specifically mean your destined romantic partner. And when I say how they talk about you, I mean how they would talk about you and your relationship to their friends and their family members. So what they say about you when you're not around, basically. There are 4 piles to choose from. I suggest choosing the pile that sparks a memory in you. So for example, I would choose the second pile, Boundaries, because the owl on the card reminds me of going to an owl cafe, which is one of the last things that I did with my grandmother before she passed away. And I will put the pile markers down in the description below, so feel free to pause the video now and select your pile. Thank you. Take care. If you selected pile 1, Spiritual Maturity, welcome to your reading. Your tarot cards are the 2 of Pentacles, the 9 of Swords, the Fool, the 8 of Swords, and the Sun. For your archetype cards, we got Hermit and Child Eternal. All right, my pile 1s, so let's get into it. How will your soulmate be talking about you? We start off your reading with this 2 of Pentacles. So immediately I'm hearing that this person says that you have really created more balance in their life. Before, I'm picking up that this person probably has had some mental health struggles, or they've been struggling in other areas where they just don't really feel connected to the world around them. Do you ever have those moments where you just become kind of acutely aware of the world around you? Like you notice all the birds and the trees, and you notice how the sun feels on your skin, and you kind of have this little moment where you realize how wonderful it is to just be present. I feel like this person, before they met you, does not have that often. They are definitely an overthinker is what I'm hearing, and so they're kind of caught up in their own anxieties, and they're too much in their head to really take the time to be present and enjoy the kind of simple pleasures of life before you come in. But the 2 of Pentacles is a card of flexibility, and so I'm hearing they're telling other people that you have taught them to be more flexible and be more present in the moment, and that they're really grateful to you for helping them come out of their shell and be able to appreciate life more. The second card in the spread mirrors that sentiment. We have the 9 of Swords, which is a card of anxiety. So I am hearing that this person, the reason why they're not so present, the reason why they're really grateful for your ability to make them more flexible is because they have anxiety, or they could have been suffering from depression. I'm hearing that for some of them, they have insomnia, and they tell people that they sleep better when they're next to you. And I'm also picking up that this person also, in the beginning stages of your relationship, or maybe before you come into union, when they just kind of have their eye on you, they stay up a lot thinking about you. So you kind of run through their mind a lot. And in the middle of your spread, we have the Fool, which is how this person sees you. They see you as kind of a happy-go-lucky type. They think of you as being a really unique person. They like your style, your way of dressing. It could be that you wear a lot of bright colors, or you have dyed hair, or just generally you stick out from a crowd because you're maybe stylish or really fashionable. But there's something about you, something about your energy that is very unique that they find really attractive, and that's what they kind of relay to other people. And they're also saying that you are kind of a heart on your sleeve type of person, and you're not afraid to take risk and go out into the world and try new things and experience things and feel everything. And that's something that they really admire about you, because they kind of come from a place of being overly closed up emotionally. And when you enter their life, like I said with this 2 of Pentacles, you give them more flexibility to kind of go with you on these journeys, because you're not really concerned about, I don't know, how you're being perceived or what could go wrong. You're more interested in what could go right. You're more interested in taking risks, taking chances, exploring new things, and they find that to be very admirable about you. I'm also hearing that you are like a ray of light. You're their sunshine. They think of you as someone who can always put a smile on their face. And with the Fool being the very first card in the entire tarot deck, I'm also hearing that the transition from having you in their life, from previously not having you in their life, is incredibly, like, the difference is so stark. If you look at these two cards, the Nine of Swords, it's a very black card, and then the Fool is this beautiful yellow bright color. So it's like you've colored their world. It's like, there's that movie, is it called Pleasantville? Someone will know what I'm talking about. There's some movie where everything's kind of in black and white, and then as the people learn how to express themselves, color gets added to everything. And I feel like that is kind of how they feel about you, or how they see you. They just feel like you have shined a light onto things that they were unwilling to notice or unable to notice before. And that same sentiment is also reflected in this Eight of Swords. So again, they felt like before they met you, they were blind to the ways in which they were limiting themselves, because you do take risk, or at least they perceive you as someone who takes risk and is not afraid of failure because you see it as a learning experience. But for them, they were so stifled by their own anxieties, their own thoughts before you came in, that they were holding themselves back. And the Eight of Swords is a card of self-imprisonment. This person can very easily, take off this rope and walk out of this group of swords, but they maybe don't realize it at the time because it feels impossible or it feels inevitable. So I do feel like you've given them so much hope, and that is also coming through in the Sun, which is the happiest card in the tarot. So you make them very happy. They're telling other people that you make them very happy, and you've opened up their eyes to basically a whole new world of joy and pleasure and fun. And they also like that you, like I said, you find it very easy to find the beauty in the simple things in your life. And they feel like with you, it's like when you're a kid and you hear the ice cream truck outside and you go and get an ice cream, and it's like the best moment of your life. It's like things don't have to be huge with you. The little moments are things that this person, your soulmate, really enjoys with you. And I'm also hearing for a select few of you, if you are interested in having children, this person really wants to have children with you. They think you would be an excellent parent. And for your first archetype card, we got Hermit, which says, seek solitude to focus intently on inner life, serves personal creativity. And the shadow attribute for this says, withdraws from society out of fear or negative judgments of others, refusing to help those in need. And so I'm picking up that this is your person before they met you. This is something that they really stress when they talk about you, is that you have changed your life so much. And before, they felt like they were just kind of holed up and they were withdrawn and they didn't feel connected to themselves or the people around them or the world around them. And you really brightened everything up for them, and they feel so grateful to you for that. And your second archetype card says Child Eternal, and it says determination to remain young in body, mind, and spirit, ability to see things with fresh eyes. So this is how they see you. They see you as the eternal child in a positive way. So like I said, you have fresh eyes. They like to see the world through your eyes, and you do have this approach to the world that has kind of a childlike wonder. It's like seeing things for the first time and being able to appreciate them for the first time. And that is also coming through in the cards that I said they used to describe you, the Fool, which is the first card in the tarot. So this is something very new, something maybe inexperienced, but in a positive way, something that has that childlike youth and wonder. And then the sun also is represented on the card by a child. So there is the childlike simplicity of the pleasures, of the happiness that comes with the sun. So this is really how they see you. They see you as someone who has such a pure soul that's not jaded. You're not pessimistic. They really see you as someone who's looking towards a bright future. It's like, I saw this picture, maybe, I don't remember where I saw it or when, but it was like a cartoon picture, and someone in the picture said, I am going to be surrounded by beautiful flowers. And the other person said, well, how do you know? And the person said, because I planted them. Which is so simple, but I feel like that is how they see you. They just see you as someone who is able to make the beauty in the world around them because you put in the effort to find the beauty, to cultivate the beauty, to cultivate the happiness and the joy. And they like being able to see the world through your eyes after previously having seen it through this kind of dark lens of their own anxiety and paranoia. And that is all also coming through in the pile marker you chose, which says spiritual maturity. So I do think they see you as someone who's being spiritually mature because you're not really hung up on things that they are. You find it very easy to let things go because I think you are very aware that this life, even though it's the longest thing we have, it's also very short. It goes by really fast, and it doesn't serve you to stress out about or ruminate in things that don't make you happy. You would much rather spend your time focusing on the things that make you happy and cultivating your relationships with people that make you happy and finding joy and experiencing new things. And they find that to be very mature of you. And I think you also help them grow in their spiritual maturity. And something about this card specifically is that I'm hearing that your soulmate felt like they had a lot of obstacles in their way. They felt like they had mountains to climb. And in this card, you see that there is a couple walking up the path to this mountain. So I feel like now, after they find you, after they meet you, after they come into union with you, they feel like any obstacle in their way is now a beautiful thing. It's something that they can get through easily because they have you by their side. It doesn't seem as scary or daunting anymore. Now it seems like something they can do leisurely with assistance. Now they can take in the view and know that any obstacle in the road on the way to the top, on the way to the final destination, is just more time to spend with you. It's like taking the long way. It's just a little bump in the road. And so overall, I'm getting that they see you as someone who has been very healing for them and has opened their eyes to the beauty of the world. They see you as very optimistic and cheerful, and that is something that they really love about you, and that's what they're telling their friends and family. All right, that is it for my pile ones. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I put out a new video once a week. Thank you. Take care. If you selected pile 2, boundaries, welcome to your reading. Your tarot cards are the Ace of Wands, the 3 of Swords, the Page of Wands, the 5 of Wands, and the 5 of Swords. For your archetype cards, we got Rescuer and Damsel. All right, my pile 2s, so how will your soulmate talk about you to other people? Let's start off with this Ace of Wands at the beginning of your spread. So immediately I'm hearing that they find you to be very attractive, and they do express this to other people. Especially when they first meet you, they might say, I met this really attractive person today. I think they're super beautiful or hot or sexy, whatever it is that you feel applies to you. And as I get to know you more, we move into this 3 of Swords. And the 3 of Swords in this spread is between the Ace of Wands and the Page of Wands. And something that I'm hearing very strongly is that this person tells other people how impressed they are that you have been able to take the things that are handed to you, specifically negative things that have happened in your life, like this 3 of Swords energy, which is all about heartbreak or grief. And I'm hearing for a lot of you, this is related to your past love life, but for some of you, it also stems from your childhood or something else that was kind of traumatic for you. And so I'm hearing that you've basically taken this hand that you've been dealt, which was something that was very negative or hard to get through, and it was really hard on you emotionally. And you've turned into this Page of Wands energy. So you've taken what you've been handed and you've learned to embrace the circumstances that you're in. And they really admire that about you. They admire your ability to kind of pick yourself up. I just heard the word resilient. So they see you as a very resilient person. And I think they do tell other people that. They see you as someone who has a lot of emotional strength. And you also are always looking forward. You don't really believe in resigning yourself to grief, or you don't really believe in ruminating in your sadness or negative things that have happened to you. And maybe you did in the past, but I think this person sees you as someone who is always just looking for ways to improve. I'm hearing that you kind of have this mindset that things that have happened to me in the past have been out of my control, and it's not something that I can change now. The only thing that I can do now is continue to look forward and try to grow and build myself as a person. And that is what's coming through in this succession of cards, these 3 cards. So the Ace of Wands, like I said, they find you attractive, and they also recognize that you've been dealt a hand that is not preferable, and that's coming through in this 3 of Swords. And I think they acknowledge that you have some lingering grief or some lingering trauma underneath, but they see you as this Page of Wands energy, which is someone who's very hopeful and looking towards the future. And like I said, accepting the circumstances that they have and learning to work with them. And I'm also hearing with this Page of Wands, they see you as someone who is secretly sensitive. like you come across as someone who's maybe closed off or just very mature, but once they get to know you, they see you as someone who's actually very soft and a little sensitive. And I think that's because you have not really had the opportunity. Oh, what I just heard is you weren't able to fully be a child. And I don't think that this message is for everyone that is listening to this pod, because like I said, I think some of you, this 3 of Swords energy is from a past heartbreak, but for a lot of you, I'm hearing that you had a pretty rough childhood, or you just had something traumatic that happened to you growing up, and because of that, you had to mature maybe faster than other people your age, and you didn't really feel like you connected with them because you just had a completely different mindset and you had other things to worry about. And so now as an adult, now that you're removed from this 3 of Swords energy, now that you've moved past it, there's a part of you that tries to indulge in the things that you didn't get to have when you were a kid. So I think they see you sometimes when they really get to know you and you've let your guard down, they see that you have kind of a childlike need for comfort, and you give yourself that comfort, but I'm also hearing that they want to be the person to give that to you also. And this is also coming through in the 5 of Wands. I'm hearing that this person talks about you being very dichotomous. So there's these 2 sides of you because of this thing that has happened in your past, whether that was a pretty devastating breakup or relationship or something that happened in your childhood, something that kind of permanently affected your ability to connect with other people. This thing, one, made you really empathetic to the struggles of others. So I'm hearing that they see you as someone who is very good at relating to other people and anticipating other people's needs and being able to meet them and take care of them. And you're very good at giving advice, and other people see you as being very welcoming and accommodating and as a good listener and someone who has an emotional depth that lends itself to giving advice to other people that are struggling. But on the other side of this, also because of this thing, this Three of Swords energy that has happened in the past, you have your walls up. And that's coming through in this Five of Wands, because the Five of Wands, if you look at it, it's all of these people kind of fighting with sticks. So on one hand, you are kind of fighting people off. You don't really let people get that close to you. I think because you have your guard up because of this past pain, this past grief that you've experienced, you don't let people in that easily, and they notice that about you, and it is something that they talk about with their friends or their family members. But the other side of the Five of Wands is that if you look at this card, they're not actually hurting each other. And this card specifically, these are young girls in their school uniforms. These are children. So this is not real fighting. This is play fighting. So there's this sense that you have these guards up and you don't want people to get close. But in actuality, it's not because you're hardened or you're standoffish. It's because you're very sensitive, and that lends itself to you being able to be very empathetic towards other people. And I just heard something else with this Three of Swords card. There's I think it's a Leonard Cohen song or quote where he says something like, the cracks are what lets the light in. So these fractions that you've had, this emotional pain and this grief that you've had, is what has allowed you, the breaking of your heart, the breaking of the child within you is what has allowed you to absorb the light from other places. You've had to find new sources of light to fill in the gaps, and this is something that they have noticed about you and really admired about you. And this is also coming through in the last card in your spread, which is the Five of Swords, which is a card of kind of getting one over on someone or being victorious. And what I'm hearing specifically for this is that you, like it says in your pile marker, you have such strong boundaries and you don't let people that close to you because of this thing that has happened in the past. And something else that I'm hearing is that specifically from them, they might have an issue with one of their family members or their friends where that person is critical of their relationship with you. It could have nothing to do with you specifically. It could just be that person that's in their life is kind of controlling or they're judgmental, and your soulmate is very protective of you and they defend you if anyone ever says anything negatively about you. And with your archetype cards, the first one we got is Rescuer, which says provide strength and support to others in crisis, acts out of love with no expectation of reward. So that is exactly what I said before. Because you've been through this thing in the past, this person sees you as someone who has a lot of emotional strength and is very good at supporting others because you kind of know how it feels to be in that position and not have that level of support. And you really have a lot of love in your heart, and you truthfully have a lot of love for the people around you, and you always want to make everyone around you really comfortable and happy. But I'm also hearing that comes at the sacrifice of yourself. So I'm hearing that in this Three of Swords situation, if it was a romantic relationship that really impacted you negatively, it could be that you were like in a relationship with a narcissist, and so you felt like you always had to kind of jump over hoops to meet this person's needs. And because of that, you've really learned to minimize your own needs and put everyone else before you. And I mean, that can be putting others in a place where you want them to be happy and you really care about their needs is a positive trait, but not if it comes from sacrificing yourself and your own well-being and being quiet about what your needs are. And this is definitely something that your soulmate has noticed about you. And if it's not a romantic relationship, if it is your childhood, then it could be that you felt like you had to be perfect or really acquiesce to the needs or the wants of other people in order to be loved, in order to be accepted, whatever that is. And because of that, you still kind of carry those traits into adulthood, or where you're at now, where you work really hard to kind of be perfect. You probably have perfectionist tendencies. You work really hard to minimize yourself and be someone who doesn't have needs, because if you don't have expectations of other people meeting them, then you're not at risk of them disappointing you or hurting you. But you're also overextending yourself and you're really preoccupied with meeting other people's needs to the point that people have taken advantage of you, is what I'm hearing. And your second archetype card is Damsel, which says understanding the nature of healthy romance inspires you to rely on yourself. So I do feel like I said, you have this transition from the Ace of Wands, this hand that gave you the Three of Swords, into the Page of Wands. So you move from the Ace to the Page. And so this Three of Swords has allowed you to learn more about yourself and learn what you will and will not put up with. And that's coming through in the pile marker. Like I said, you have very strong boundaries, as what this person tells other people. But the boundaries have allowed you to really decide who you will allow to let into your life, what you're willing to accept, specifically when it comes to romance, is what I'm hearing. And you probably have also been single for a long time, and they know that it's because you kind of have these walls up. And they also see you as someone who's very independent, and they relay that a lot, that you really learned how to take care of yourself. You've learned how to be comfortable being alone. And for some of you, you've learned how to be the parent to yourself. And like I said, all of that is coming through in your pile marker, this boundaries card. And the person on this card is surrounded by two animals, the tiger and the owl. So I'm hearing, one, that this person sees you as being very wise, and so they might tell other people that you're really smart, or they see you as having a lot of emotional maturity. And with the tiger, this represents strength. So I'm hearing emotional fortitude, emotional strength. And I'm also hearing a special message that for some of you, you really love animals and you're very gentle with them, and this person notices that, and that kind of ties into the Page of Wands energy that they see from you, which is that when you let your guards down, when you kind of give into these base childlike need for comfort, and so you really enjoy being around animals because they are these really, pets, for example, cats and dogs. They're these really sweet things that rely on you to have their basic needs met and for love and comfort. And that is something that I think you can really relate to, because you have felt that way in the past, or you felt you were very vulnerable and you really needed someone else to meet these needs that you had, both maybe physically and emotionally, and you didn't feel like they were met. And so you have a very gentle approach to animals because they're so vulnerable and they're so sweet. And I'm also hearing that in this entire spread, we have 3 hearts. So we have the heart on the Three of Swords, which is dripping black, and it has the 3 swords through it. And then we have the heart on the boundaries card, which is a shield. And then we have the heart on the rescuer card, which is what are they called? A lifesaver, a life preserver. And so I'm hearing this is kind of the 3 ways that your soulmate sees you and talks about you. They see both this hurt from the Three of Swords. They see this emotional grief that you have kind of lingering inside of you. And they see how it has made you into the heart on the rescuer card, which is someone who uses their heart, this pain that they've experienced, to help other people, to rescue other people and get them out of their own predicaments. But then also you have the heart on this boundaries card, which is used as a shield, where you're very protective of your heart because of this emotional pain that you have felt in the past. And so overall, I'm really picking up that the thing that your soulmate talks about the most about you with their friends and family is how you have these kind of two different sides to you, where maybe you come across as standoffish to people at first meet you, but it's only because you actually are very sensitive and very caring, and you don't want to be taken advantage of, because you do sacrifice so much of yourself for the people that you care about. And I'm also hearing that they tell other people a lot that they think you deserve to be taken care of in a way that you haven't before. You deserve to feel safe and loved and cared for. And I'm also hearing that they get upset about the people or the situation in your past that led you to feel this way. And so they might express that when they're talking about it. Like, for example, if it was a past romantic relationship, they might tell their friends how much they hate your ex or something like that. But overall, this person is very protective of you because they really find your resilience admirable given the things that you have experienced in your life. All right, that is it for my pile twos. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I put out a new video once a week. Thank you. Take care. If you selected pile 3, love, welcome to your reading. Your tarot cards are Judgment, the Knight of Swords, the Six of Swords, the Page of Cups, and Justice. For your archetype cards, we got Trickster and Gambler. All right, my pile 3s. So how will your soulmate talk about you? What are they saying about you to their friends and family? We start off your tarot spread with this Judgment card. And Judgment is a card about, it's a call to action. It's your life purpose. It's figuring out which direction you want to go in. It's these huge revelatory moments. And what I'm hearing specifically through this card is that your soulmate is telling other people that because of you, because of their relationship with you, their life path, their personality, the way they react to things, the way they handle stressful moments, the way they treat other people has changed dramatically. You have improved them not only on the basic level of their happiness, but you have improved them as a person. They feel like they're better friends, they're better family members, they're better at being there for other people because some of your traits have rubbed off on them, and they're very grateful to you because of that. So they really reiterate that they have gone through a major transformation because of your involvement in their life. And what is this transformation? Well, the next card in your spread is this Knight of Swords. And so I'm picking up that before this person met you or came into union with you, they were in this Knight of Swords energy, but not in a super positive way. Probably your soulmate is someone who is very smart, but in the past they've used their intellect without considering other people's emotions. So they could have been very blunt. They could have been, to be honest, the Knight of Swords, this is the mansplainer card of the tarot. So they could have been a little bit of a know-it-all. They could have been really argumentative. They could have been someone who never really listened to like other people's point of view, or they never gave anyone any like ground, any leverage with them, or heard anyone out. And I think this is very specific when it comes to their romantic life too. I think that they were very quick to cut people off, and they just weren't that considerate of other people's emotions. And I'm not saying that they're a bad person. This could have happened for a variety of reasons. It could be that they were taught when they were younger that it's not nice to express their emotions, so they kind of put all their walls up and they dealt with everything very intellectually without considering their own heart or the hearts of others. But in the middle of your spread, we have the Six of Swords. So your soulmate is telling other people, because you came into their life, they transitioned from this kind of argumentative, combative, closed off emotionally Knight of Swords energy into this Page of Cups. And the Six of Swords is all about the transition. And in the Six of Swords, these people in the boat are moving from the left towards the right. So we're moving away from this Knight of Swords. And also in the card, the water behind them is rougher and choppier, and then they're moving into something smoother. So this person is also gaining, besides emotional clarity and empathy, they're also gaining a lot of internal peace from having you in their life. So they move from this Knight of Swords to this Page of Cups. And I also think this is the energy that you embody to them. So they are also relaying that you are like this Page of Cups. And it could be that you are a Pisces, or you have a prominent Pisces placement in your natal chart. So Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, or another water sign, Cancer, Scorpio. But I'm hearing Pisces most strongly. And the Page of Cups is someone who wears their heart on their sleeve. They're very patient, they're kind, they're creative, they're able to find beauty in the little things, and they like to share that beauty with others. This person is holding out their cup, waiting for someone to take it. And there's a sense of innocence here. There's a sense of really just wanting to connect to someone on a heart-to-heart level that comes across as really sweet. There's creative energy as well. I think of the Page of Cups as kind of a call to the arts sometimes. So it could be that you are an artist, or you really enjoy music, you really enjoy reading, you're a writer, you're a musician, you paint, you are really interested in fashion, something along those lines. There's some creative energy here, and they could be relaying this to other people and saying that your creativity and your openness and your desire to share in the things that you care about with other people is something that has really attracted them to you, and they really appreciate that about you. And it's also some of the traits that they think have rubbed off on them. So I'm hearing that they think of themselves, I think before in their previous relationships, maybe it's not that they didn't like their previous partners, but I don't think it ever really clicked for them. Like, oh, if I want to be with this person for a long time, I can't always be in this Knight of Swords kind of argumentative, combative energy where I'm only considering my own wants and needs. Now they're so much softer, they're more docile, they're probably very affectionate with you, and they are expressing that to their friends and family, that they just feel like, I used to be, this kind of person, and now I feel like all I want to do is just be really sweet and cuddle up with my with my person. And there's a lot of romantic energy here, so I'm picking up that this person could be asking for advice from their friends and family on how to impress you with romantic dates. So I just heard like boardwalk restaurants. So it could be that they want to take you on a date at one of those restaurants that's on a pier where you look out at the ocean while you eat, or something like that. Or they want to take you on vacation. They want to buy you flowers. They want to take you to like a botanical garden, is something that I just heard. So this person, I think because in the past they were more into this Knight of Swords energy instead of the Page of Cups, something that they do talk about with their friends and family is ways in which they can be more romantic towards you, because I feel like they think they need help with that. But they really do feel like their heart has changed. They're so much more open. They're so much more patient. They're so much more giving than they were before because of their relationship with you, because those are the traits that you embody and you have rubbed off on them positively. And at the end of the tarot spread, we have Justice. So what I'm hearing here is they want to be the best versions of themselves for you. This is something that's coming through very strongly. It is major arcana. They feel like because you are this beautiful Page of Cups energy, this generous, patient, understanding, loving, affectionate energy. They want to be able to give you exactly what you deserve, which is why it's really important for them to get this kind of advice from their friends and family on how to treat you better. And Justice is also the card of, it's a card of justice as in, getting justice for things, getting people what they deserve. But Justice is ruled by Libra. And Libra is a Venus sign. So the urge to get justice, the urge to have people get what they deserve, that comes from the Justice card, that comes from Libra is always heart-based. So this person, because they like you so much, because they love you so much, they really want the best for you. I just heard the lyrics to the Prince song. There's a song by Prince, it's my favorite Prince song, If I Was Your Girlfriend, and there's a lyric in there where he says, would you run to me if somebody hurt you, even if that somebody was me? And I think that this person still has lingering traits of the Knight of Swords, so they might say something or be a little defiant or be a little bit combative when they don't really mean to be, and immediately they feel bad about it, but they don't want you to ever feel like you can't come to them. They want to be the one to fix any issues that you have, even if it's with them. And with your first archetype card, we have Trickster, which says transcending convention, stuffiness, and predictable behavior. And the shadow attribute for this is manipulating others through duplicity. So I'm feeling like with this past Knight of Swords energy that they transitioned away from, I think they felt like they were a little bit of a trickster before, like they kind of used their words and their emotional detachment to manipulate others into coming to their side or making people feel like because they had more of an emotional stake in things that they weren't thinking as logically or their feelings weren't as valid. And I do think that this person changed. Like I said, this person has changed thanks to you, thanks to wanting to be better for you. And I'm also hearing that for some of you, this person also tells their family and friends that they find you to be pretty magical. They feel like they've never met someone quite like you. And they, in a positive way, they think that you are one of a kind and very unique. And for your second archetype card, we got Gambler, which says willingness to follow intuition even when others doubt you. And I think this is something else that they talk about, that they admire about you, is that even when other people, for example, if you were to encounter this person before you came together, before they really matured emotionally with the help of your love and your understanding, this person might be combative to you, they might be a little rude to you, but you are someone who really is empathetic and kind of sees through the facades that people put up, the walls that people put up to make themselves seem tougher or less vulnerable. And you are willing to stick to your guns and follow your intuition and believe in your gut feelings, even when other people are actively against that or trying to make you feel bad about doing that. And that is something that they really admire about you. And I think this is another trait that they have picked up from you, is that they've learned to really listen to their hearts instead of just going with whatever they think is supposed to be logical or what they think that they're supposed to be doing. And that has ultimately made them happier and made them be more at peace with both themselves and with their day-to-day life with you. And with your pile marker, Love, something that I'm hearing is that with this card, the person is sitting down and their whole body is made up of these kind of multiple swirls, multiple colored swirls, and there's a huge heart around them. this is how they feel when they're with you. They felt like it's like the Grinch, like their heart expanded 3 sizes is what I heard. That's how they feel. They went from the Grinch at the beginning of the movie who hates everything to, singing Christmas carols and holding hands with everybody is how they feel, and that's how they talk about you to their friends and family. This is a very sweet pile. All right, my pile 3s, that is it for your reading. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I put out a new video once a week. Thank you. Take care. If you selected pile 4, sexuality, welcome to your reading. Your tarot cards are the King of Cups, the World, the 4 of Pentacles, the 7 of Pentacles, and the 7 of Swords. Your archetype cards are Monk/Nun and Angel. Okay, my pile 4s. So how will your soulmate be talking about you? What will they be saying about you in your relationship to their friends and family? Well, we start off your tarot spread with this King of Cups. So immediately, they are very devoted to you. They have so much compassion for you. This is a double-sided card to me. I think this is, one, the energy that they're expressing to you. So this is someone who's very compassionate, caring, patient, someone with a lot of love and romance to give. The depth of emotion, the depth of romantic feelings here is incredible. You could drown in an ocean of their love. But I'm also hearing that this is how they see you. They see you as someone who is very willing to help others, generous with your time and energy. You could be someone that they see as having a very healing presence, or you could be in an occupation or career that involves healing in some kind. So you could be like a doctor or a nurse or a therapist, or even like a massage therapist, or you could work at an animal shelter or volunteer at an animal shelter or a homeless shelter, something like that. And this person also sees you as someone who has a very big heart, and maybe it took you a while to get there. So you've learned over the years that to not really be afraid of opening yourself up to emotion and experiencing even the sadness or anger or other emotions that we typically think of as being negative, because having those moments allows you to feel the higher moments, the happier moments, the really beautiful moments more profoundly. Because if everything was always great, then the really great moments wouldn't feel as special. You know what I mean? And so that's something that they admire about you, is your openness and you're willing to be vulnerable. You've learned that vulnerability is not weakness. It's a strength that not a lot of people are able to or willing to practice. And that is something that they really admire about you and relay to their friends and family. And something that I'm also hearing is that either you or your soulmate could have a very strong Scorpio placement in your natal chart. So sun, moon, rising, or Venus. The other signs that I am seeing here are Capricorn and Taurus, but strongest sign here is Scorpio. So it could be a combination of that, like a Scorpio with a Capricorn Venus or something like that. And with the World card, I'm hearing that you two had pretty different upbringings. It could have been an actual distance. So you could have grown up in different countries. You're part of a different culture, and that's something that they discuss a lot or relay to other people. Or you just had very different childhoods. Like maybe yours was a little bit rough and they had a pretty normal, like, loving family, or vice versa. Or maybe you grew up with a really wealthy family and they were really poor, something like that. But they feel like they say this a lot, that it's crazy kind of how all of these things that happened in their life led them to you, despite the odds, because it seems like you would have never met. Like, it seems like the chances of you two meeting were actually pretty slim. It reminds me of the Taylor Swift song, Invisible String. She kind of talks about how all of these little things, these little coincidences happened for her and her boyfriend before they even met. And so she felt like they were tied together and kind of being like slowly pulled closer to each other, but in ways that they couldn't see or didn't understand at the time. And so I think that's something that your soulmate talks about with their friends. And I'm also hearing that with the world is completion of cycles. So I'm hearing that this person wants to hit a bunch of milestones with you. So they probably really want to get married. They want to get engaged. They might want to have children. They want to move in with you, buy a house with you, whatever. And with the world also, I'm hearing that through their relationship with you, they have had to grow up a lot. There was some tough lessons that they had to learn, and I don't think it's because they were, emotionally immature necessarily. I just think that in any relationship that we have, really, we learn a lot about ourselves and how we treat others and how we react when we're frustrated and things like that. And so they felt like they have grown a lot as a result of meeting you or being in a relationship with you. And something else that I'm hearing with this Four of Pentacles in the middle of your spread is that this person is very, very protective of you. They could actually be a little bit of a jealous type, and I don't think that it's in like a crazy way. Like, I don't think you would go out and someone would look at you and they try to fight them or something, but because this King of Cups is a very calm energy, so I don't think that they're making a scene at all, but I do think this person's very protective of you. I had another reading a few weeks ago where there was like similar energy to this, where it's like if you were out somewhere, if you were at like an event or a party or something and someone came up and started talking to you, they wouldn't come up and be like, hey, why are you talking to my partner? They'd be like, they just come up and like hold your hand or put their arm around you. You know, nothing crazy, just kind of making it known that this person is taken. They definitely are protective of you, and they do like to hold you close, both emotionally and physically. So they could be someone who's pretty affectionate in public, and that's something that comes across when they talk about you. And with this Seven of Pentacles next in your spread, I'm hearing that they tell other people a lot. Like I said with this world, I feel like they feel like the chances of meeting you were so slim, and they're so happy to have met you. And the Seven of Pentacles is a card that is all about waiting for something. So I feel like they tell other people they felt like they waited such a long time for you to come into their life. They probably didn't even think that they would meet their soulmate, or they thought they would be alone for a really long time or maybe forever, and then they met you and they feel like, what are the odds? It's crazy, this person's like perfect for me, and now they don't want to let you go at all. This Four of Pentacles. And that is also echoed by the last card in your tarot spread, the Seven of Swords, which is a card of kind of whisking something away. So I'm hearing they tell other people they really want to sweep you off your feet. They want to take you away from any problems or issues that you might have. They want to basically save you from anything that could hurt you emotionally or physically. And the Seven of Swords also has an aspect of wanting to step away from like other people or the world around you. So I do feel like they say something like, when I'm with them, it's like the rest of the world doesn't exist. It's just us. And also they probably, if you do go out like with your friends or something with this person, they're like, can we leave? Because I just want to be like home alone with you. And it's not because they're antisocial. It's because they just really like being alone with you. And I think that also ties into the pile marker that you chose, sexuality, which I will get into more, but I think that's part of it. There's some like Partition by Beyonce energy here, where it's like, we spent all this time trying to get ready, and then they see you and they're like, you look so good, I think we should just stay inside and do something else, if you know what I mean. And with your first archetype card, we got monk/nun, which says selfless devotion and single-minded dedication to spirit. So this person is definitely very devoted to you, and this is also kind of how they see you. They see you as someone who's very selfless and giving, and that's one of the things that they really love about you and that they tell other people about you, is that you have a really big heart. And probably since you're watching this, you are spiritual on some level, so I think that is also something that they relay to the people that they talk to, is they like that you are really interested in spirituality, and because of that, you probably have a pretty high level of empathy. You have a more evolved understanding of life, or you have a more evolved approach to life than most of the other people that they've met. And that's really nice to them. That's something that they talk about. And they feel like you have helped improve their life in that way, because they're better at being present and kind of slowing down and just being calm with you. And for your second archetype card, we got Angel, which says helping those in need with no expectation in return. So again, I'm hearing that they see you as someone who's very selfless, very giving. You help out others a lot. You're very caring and affectionate, and you could be a healer or be in some kind of like healing career is how they see you. You just have a very healing presence. Probably people come to you for advice a lot, and so they talk about that and how you're very good at giving advice, or you are really great at maintaining your friendships or your relationships with your family members, because you have such an understanding personality. You have a lot of love to give, and you really put in the effort to make other people feel seen and heard. And so your soulmate in return is trying to extend that same care, that same devotion, that same affection that you give to others to you, because they feel like sometimes you don't receive that same energy in return. So that's something that's pretty strong for them, is that they want you to be able to feel the same kind of love that you give others. And I'm also hearing that for some of you, Angel is their like pet name for you. So that could be what they call you while you're in a relationship with this person. And for your pile marker, you got sexuality. So on this card, there's leaves falling from the person's hair, and they go from green to orange. So something that I'm hearing is the physical passion, the intimacy, the attraction to you is not something that is going to fade as your relationship progresses, as you get older, which might be something that you have been worried about in the past with previous partners. You might have felt like, well, what if I start looking older? What if I were to gain weight? Would they still want to be with me? Would they still be attracted to me? And this person definitely, they love you for like the core of who you are, but also they are very attracted to you. They want to be with you all the time. And that's something that's coming through very strongly. Very cute. All right, that is it from my pile fours. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I put out a new video once a week. Thank you. Take care.